Yes, people, welcome back to another episode of the Ghostoul Podcast. Firstly, I would like to know if Facebook is working because last week's show there was no live stream to Facebook. So if anybody is watching this on Facebook, please let me know in the comments. So I don't know what happened with last week. Welcome along. It's been a week, literally, and today's guest is a blast from the past. Yes, we have the original, the OG tech guru himself. We have Mr. Carl Hutchinson.
Wow, Mickey, what an opening for me. The OG tech guru.
Well, yeah, why not?
Good. I'll take it.
So, how have you been, sir? You okay?
Yeah, I'm doing really good, really good. Yeah.
That's nice to hear. It's been a while since we've seen each other,
Yeah,
and
well,
we had a little
being out
meeting
the
the other
country
week,
does
didn't
that.
we?
Yeah, being out the country does that.
Yeah, it's a bit difficult, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not like popping 2 or 3 hours up the road. It's a
No.
10.5 hour flight now.
So, it always makes it difficult. So, for those people that are watching and may not know who you are, could you just give us a little rundown of what you do, Carl, and where you've been, etc.? That'd be awesome, man.
Yeah, no worries. My name's Carl Hutchinson. I've been into the paranormal. I've been working in the paranormal field for just over 26 years.
Wow.
Man and boy. More boy
Wow.
than man, but yeah. And I basically got into the paranormal when I was when we moved down from Kent because I'm originally born in Sheffield, and I was always into the spooky stuff. And my old gran used to tell us spooky stories at Christmas and holidays and stuff like that. And I was always into that and horror films and things like that. But then you know what happens? You move away. You then suddenly you get into your 18, 19 time, and other things become priority, like golf, women, booze. Um, so you sort of sidetrack it, and
Yeah.
then my local pub I was drinking in at the time down in Kent. A mate of mine phoned me up and went, "Do you want to go on a ghost hunt at the pub?" And I went, "Go on a what?" And I was like, "It's a ghost hunt. You're gonna go along and you're gonna look for ghosts." And I went, "Are you having a laugh?" And he said, "Cole, you're not picking up on the biggest thing." And I said, "What's that?" He went, "It's a lock-in at our local." So I was signed up within seconds. And yeah, we went down there, and all these guys with silver cases came wandering in, the team that was doing it. And I just got transfixed at what they were picking up and the medium that was there. And all these lights that were flashing really piqued my interest. So, and stuff was happening, and I was like, "What's going on?" And it was just really, really interesting and really like got me. So the following week, I booked a ticket for wherever they were going next, and it just progressed and progressed. And then they asked me to join the team, and I was doing public events for my sins for about 8 years, and then it was starting to take its toll on me. And when you get into it and you have a passion for it, like yourself,
Yeah.
you suddenly get to a point where you go, I want to investigate. I don't want to do this. I don't want to demonstrate the same thing. I don't want to say the same thing time and time again, which you do on public events, because you're not investigating on public events really. You're the paying punters are the investigators. You're there just to guide.
Mm.
So while that was all going on, I got a phone call from one of the locations, and we've been investigating down in Kent, a place called Fort Horsted. A guy called Paul who used to run it. Now he's retired. And he said, Cole, what are you doing on such and such a date? I've got this American film crew coming in, and they want somebody who's experienced something at Fort Halstead. And I'd had a big experience at Fort Halstead. So I said, yeah, count me in. He said, it's literally just 15 minutes. You just come in, you do a quick reconstruction, then you answer the questions that they're going to pose you. Literally, you tell them about what happened, you answer a few questions, done in and out, 15 minutes, and then you're on your way. I said, yeah, okay, count me in. He said, great, I'll let the researcher, production manager know. Expect a call. So I got a message saying they're going to give you a ring on such and such a day. And kind of forgot about it. And on a Thursday morning at about 6:30 in the morning, I'm standing on a platform waiting to get on the train to go up to London. It's cold, it's miserable, it's wet. And my phone goes off, and the bloke at the other end goes, hi, my name's Jeff Belanger. I'm the researcher for Ghost Adventures. So I went, yeah, on your bike, mate. Nice try. Pull the other one. It's got bells on. Hung up on him. Cut a long story short. I did that 5 times to this call. They just kept on calling back, and I'm thinking, yeah, it can't be my mates trying to play a practical joke on me. I'll take the call. And he said, oh, please, Cole, don't hang up. And yeah, it was Jeff Belanger, the researcher on Ghost Adventures, because I didn't know at that time who the production was or whatever. Because Fort Halstead had some like Japanese film crews that had English people there, all this sort of stuff. So I just thought it was like a pilot or a YouTube or something like that. I didn't know it was Ghost Adventures. So I told him the story. He said, right, can you be here at that time? So I ended up turning up, pulling into the car park, and there's 2 big blacked out Mercedes Sprinter vans and loads of people milling around carrying cameras. And then the Sprinter van opened, and the Ghost Adventures team, Zach, Aaron, Nick at the time, because he was part of it, Billy were there. Jay wasn't there at that time. He wasn't filming on overseas shoots at that time. So it was just the 4 of them. And as they say, yeah, we got in there, got introduced to Zach and Aaron and everybody like that. And they were talking to me, saying, right, this is what we wanted to do. And then he was asking about what happened to me. And then all of a sudden, he goes, right, I've changed the plan. We're just going to have a quick chat in the van. We'll be back with you in a second. So I'm standing there, okay. So I'm just, okay, fair enough. And then he comes out, he said, we're changing the shoot. Basically, we're going to invite you on the lockdown because what's going on at Fort Halstead seems to be around you. So I think I was one of the first people that actually got invited to go on a lockdown with them. And did the show. And then from there, it's kind of started to open doors, and I started to pick up the odd TV thing, and people started asking me to review equipment. So I started to do it more and more. I still was working at the BBC at the time. And then it sort of snowballed. I got invited to a convention in the UK, Paracon UK. Went to that, met all these people that were like, wow, these people are actually like me. And all these TV celebrities were there.
Yeah.
And I had such good laugh, and I met Aaron's sister and all this sort of stuff. And then he just started to pick up speed and snowball until it came to the point where I decided, well, I'm not going to, might as well do it full time and put all of my efforts into it. And that's what I've been doing for the last 5.5 years, 6 years.
Wow, what an opening statement. Fucking hell. That's awesome, man. So let me just catch up before we carry on any further. So we have Tracy in the building. Morning, Tracy. Tracy's in Australia. It's probably about 4:10 in the morning. So big up to
Hi, Tracy.
Tracy. Um, Diane's in. Hello, Diane. In that order, Carl. That was the booze, the women, and the whatever.
Yeah, near enough.
Yeah. Ali's
You know how
here.
it's like, Vicky. You suddenly think, okay.
Carry on. SK. Welcome back to the UK, Carl. Mr. Nick is in the house.
Hi, Nick.
Hi, Nick. Mark Williams, hello, sir. So yeah. So what year was it that you first went on that ghost hunt? For me, it was 2008. So you've been doing it a lot longer than I have. So I just wondered what year that was when you got invited to that pub. 26 years ago, you say?
26 years ago.
Oh, so 99 then, basically.
Yeah, it was just it was on the cusp of, because I know it was winter time. It was on the cusp of 1999, 2000. You know, the millennium and the millennium bug and all that conspiracy theory that was going around at the time.
Yeah, we're all gonna die.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Oh wow. So, Ghost Adventures Lockdown. You met the man himself, Mr. Zach.
Yes, I did.
How was he?
He is, and I'm going to speak it as I generally do about my impressions of the guy. I don't mince my words when it comes to things like that. In my view, how he dealt with me, how he was around, how he helped on the show, what I physically saw, and I was with the guys. Well, I forgot to put a little bit on that caveat. That 15-minute interview ended up I was filming with them for 2 days.
Bonus.
Yeah. So basically, I spent a lot of time with them, and generally, Zach is he's very passionate. He's not. He's kind of more softer off screen.
Yeah.
He's kind of a little bit more held back. He holds himself back a little bit. But generally, I didn't have any issues. A nice guy, very, very passionate about what he does. You can see that just by when they're talking about doing their B shots and their auxiliary shots and their interviews and stuff like that. He was actually sort of like saying, right, let's do this angle on Carl. Let's change the position. Let's move in there. So he's very knowledgeable on the whole production side of it as well.
Yeah.
They have a producer, they have an executive director, they have all the names, all the initials under the sun that you get on a production. But because it was an overseas shoot, the crew was sort of scaled back a bit, so it was smaller. They had a stills photographer, which I think was Jay's wife. So stuff like that. But yeah, Zach, absolute lovely guy, to be truthfully honest. And I've met him a couple of times since. So
we'll get on to that. Hold that. Put a pin in it.
Okay.
Did they have the reenactment people there? Did you see all that?
I saw them leaving. The two Celtic warriors that got stabbed on top of Fort Forster, or the two Celtic kings, Hor and Horsted and all that sort of stuff. So they were just big hairy guys with a lot of fur walking out, and speaking to each other. But it sort of destroyed the illusion when one of them put his headphones on.
Yeah, it brings it back down to earth, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So Tim is in the house. Hi Tim, hope you're well, mate. So Fort Horsted was obviously your local location. You spent a lot of time there. Was there any areas that they took you to on the lockdown, as they used to have lockdown? I used to like the lockdown. It's quite cool. They lock you in. Was it areas that they took you to that you were used to on the site of the fort?
We kind of led where they went. We were taking them to where we had activity. And I had activity. They did all the places, all the normal places you would go on an investigation at Fort Halstead,
Yeah.
because Fort Halstead is an operation fort. So there's a company that owns it that cleans tunnels in the Dartford. Any tunnel that you've got around the UK, it's their operation centre. So it's not abandoned. It's still working, but all the abandoned areas, the stuff that is at Fort Halstead, that you see on the show, that's all abandoned. There's nobody there. But there's the newer part, which is at the front of the fort where you come into the fort.
Yeah.
That's all got offices and stuff like that. But when you get through the middle part to the first inner ring, which is open to the outside, because the fort is supposed to be unable to be seen by air and by land. But if you look at it from aerial photographs, you can spot it out. But this was being built in the Napoleonic time, so
Oh wow, it's quite old then.
yeah,
So
it was one of 5 forts that was built to defend Chatham Dockyard. But the thing was, by the time they finished building it, the weapons that they used. Things were flying further then,
okay.
there's obviously cannons and stuff, so it kind of became obsolete. But it was used in World War II as a gunnery place, and it was one of the only gun emplacements in the southeast that official kills took down 7 German aircraft in a matter of an hour.
Oh wow. Did their job well then.
Yeah.
So who did you investigate with on the lockdown?
Well, we did like a group session in one of the areas, the furthest point of the fort, where the belief is that the wall is made up of an ancient burial mound, and they used the stone to one side of the wall,
Yeah.
built into the hill slightly. We did an open séance there, and they were filming the 4 of us doing a séance. So myself and 3 other guys who had experience at the fort, and we were doing séances, and I was seeing this black shadow that was walking behind Zach.
Yeah.
Because you could, when you've got not IR cameras, you do get a little bit of light, and when people are
Yeah.
moving, it kind of casts shadows behind. But this wasn't. This was like it was a shadow from a different angle to where the IR light and the camera, the little screen on a camera was coming from.
Yeah.
And I actually, you see it on the show, I pointed out and say to Zach, where's Zach? And Zach, you hear Zach's voice, I'm over here, Carl. And I said, I thought you were there. And I pointed, and Zach wasn't there. He'd moved. And then after that, we did a bit to camera. Well, not bit of camera. He basically just announced that I'd be going to investigate on my own with Aaron in the room that the fort would kind of nickname Carl's room, but other people call it the hanging room. But the official title of it is an ammunition hoist room, where they used to hoist up ammunition from the lower levels up to the gun emplacements.
Oh, nice. And how was the experience? Did you think the next day when you'd been to sleep and you thought about it, did you think, wow, I've just been on Ghost Adventures?
No.
No.
No, not at all. Not at all.
No.
I was more perplexed, to be truthfully honest, because what you don't see on the edit on the show, which is the only little grumbling bit that I thought, they made it look like Aaron was with me investigating.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah. He literally set up a camera, did the bit saying, this is Carl, blah, blah, blah. He had an experience here and everything. Hands me this device, which the first time I'd ever seen one, the SP7 Spirit Box.
Yeah.
And then he just goes, bye, and leaves. And you've got to remind that from the experience I had in that particular room, I hadn't been in that room for about 2 years. I hadn't investigated for about a year and a half because of how shook up I was over the experience. So literally, I'm handed this spirit box. He said, "That red light, there's your camera. Talk to that. See you later. I'll come and get you in a bit." 2 hours, 10 minutes later, he comes
Wow.
back. And at that time, you see what's gone on. The spirit box said my name multiple times. Um, there was knocks, there was bangs that you can see on the show. There was funny light anomalies that wasn't dust. And there was a shadow that was seen around. So when you see me doing the final bits, saying to Aaron, when Aaron goes, "He came, he saw, he conquered," and I throw this SP7 at him, and he said, "Don't give me that." The reason I threw it at him, I wanted to get out of that room as quick as possible. I didn't want to be there any longer. I was at that particular moment in time, not to put a finer point, and I hope I can swear, I was shitting
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah.
I was scared. I was panicking. Literally, when I came out of the room, I had a full-on blown panic attack. And I didn't know because there was a guest medium there at the time, an English guy, and he helped me. And he basically, I didn't know that sucking on a polo helps on a panic attack. Who knew?
Oh
I
wow.
didn't. So I was calming down, and then Zach came out and said, "Carl, can you come back in to do a little bit?" So I had to then go back into the fort, back up to the furthest point of the fort, did a bit of camera with the medium and all that sort of stuff. Then I left. So by the time I got home and by the time I slept, I was knackered. I
Yeah.
was completely mentally drained. And then people talk about paranormal hangovers. I slept and slept and slept. So I was more perplexed, to be truthfully honest. And I didn't know how. Ghost Adventures kind of was getting a big thing in the UK, but wasn't as massive as it was. So I just, oh, it's just another TV show.
Yeah.
Then it's announced on the Travel Channel, and then my social media's just lit up.
Because didn't they made it look like they all filmed on the same day, but didn't they go to Stonehenge? They went to the Ram all at the same time, as well as Fort Horset, didn't they?
They filmed.
Little bits.
They basically filmed B footage and interviews one day.
Okay.
So they did all like the interviews and everything like that. But they also filmed at the Hellfire Caves.
That's it. Yeah.
They filmed Hellfire Caves and then came to us and did our B footage and all that sort of stuff. And then because they had to have the continuity right, because it was dark when they did my interviews, that we had to start the shoot later because obviously it had to be night time.
Yeah, they can't suddenly change it. Oh, look, the sun's come up.
Yeah, exactly. They're walking into the fort in daylight, so
It's 4 a.m. What are you on about?
yeah, exactly. But so just for continuity, but everything that I witnessed on the show, I know there's a lot of people out there that want to throw stones, saying Ghost Adventures is fake and all this and whatever. Everything that I witnessed, that I experienced, and what I saw on the show. Yes, it might have been filmed over 2 days, but the investigation part of it was filmed on one day. Nothing that I saw was fake, and I was there because by the time I left, they only investigated for another couple of hours because it was knocking on really late anyway.
Yeah.
And I was still in the car park when the guys came out to leave. But what I saw, nothing was fake. I wasn't asked to hamp up my reaction or can we do that again. Everything you see that particularly around me and the stuff that I was with the guys when they experienced stuff like the EVPs or
Yeah.
the woman scream that you hear on the show. I've experienced that when not filming with them and on there on my own. You hear it, but everything I saw was completely 100% legit and wasn't asked to do anything untoward. My ethics would have probably said no to that. And my life career sliding door moment, but I said no. What would I have been doing now?
Yeah. No, that's good. That's good to know because obviously a lot of people do say Ghost Adventures is fake, and it is pretty demonic nowadays.
It's hammed
But
up for the particular market that it's aimed at.
but you
Uh,
understand how the TV game works. You know,
yeah,
if there's nothing happening, people ain't watching. They got to
exactly.
make it as dramatic, as scary, as evil as possible every week, so people think, "Oh my god, I've got to watch that."
But you've also got to remember they for their seasons because they break their like the seasons into two. So
Yeah.
you have first part of the season, then you'll have about 6 to 8 weeks off, and then you'll have the second part of the series. They're constantly filming. They don't just film the number of episodes that are in the season. They film other ones in case there's no activity. So
Okay.
they're constantly filming.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Didn't know that.
But I think the main reason that people like to throw stones and claim that is it is the biggest paranormal show on TV.
Mm.
So people are always going to take pot shots. It's the nature of the beast. It's one of the reasons I kind of jumped ship and headed to the States because of the paranormal in the UK and the paranormal in the States is completely different. But we'll talk about that later.
Yeah. So obviously you got, I say you got the bug for TV work when you went to America. You were on some other TV shows, I believe. Paranormal. Was that
Well,
right?
I filmed about 5 or 6 in the UK
Oh, okay. Sorry.
before I got out to the States.
Right.
And we did film some pilots and stuff like that while I was still living in the UK.
Okay.
But I think in total, show wise, I think I'm around 35 different shows that
Wow.
I've either filmed or my
Input.
input or experience
Yeah.
or not experience, my input or my clip or my equipment or I've been there or I've advised on have
Yeah.
appeared. I think in total I'm about 14, 15 on screen in front of camera.
That's good, man.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
It's the best way of making a living, Mickey, trust me.
Yeah. Because I remember you being at the Clown Motel.
One of my favorite locations, particularly now. Yes, I'm in the UK at the moment, but I live out in the wonderful Las Vegas, and what a backdrop to live. And the Clown Motel is on my doorstep. Goldfield Hotel's on my doorstep. Mizpah Hotel on my doorstep. All Madame Tussauds on Vegas. I've investigated. Completely private, but
Yeah.
I can investigate.
The
And I
Washoe
talk,
Club.
yeah, Washoe Club in Virginia City, the Gulch Casino in Virginia City, graveyards, yeah, Area 51. I'm a kid in a sweet shop. I'm a kid in a sweet shop.
I can see why you went to live out there in Vegas. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, but
I'm
yeah,
jealous.
yeah, it's good. But going back to the TV,
Yeah.
I've done. Ooh, let's think. Let's try and put this in order. I think I did an episode. The second foray into TV was I did a show called World's Most Scariest Places,
I've
and
heard of that.
they filmed at Drakelow.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh,
from
what a place.
Yeah, what a place, because that's where I first met you.
Yeah.
because you invited me up there on a invited guest where I met you and everybody else, really. Because one thing you happen, you suddenly appear once on TV, all of it suddenly you start getting these invites, and I was getting overwhelmed with them because I was literally running around the country. I was literally, because you know what it was like. I talked to you and I said, "Where are you?" Well, I'm going here, then I'm going there, and I'm
Yeah.
going everywhere. But yeah, you do TV, and once you've done TV and once you've done shows, particularly for a major network like the Travel Channel, Discovery Plus.
Oh, Carl, can't hear you. I've got no sound. Is that me or Carl? I can't hear Carl. I can't hear you. Is that me or him? Does this work? Yeah, do that. Come back. Sorry, guys. I don't know who's lost sound there. Right. Sorry, guys. Carl is back.
Sorry about that. I'm talking to myself. Where did you hear up to? I literally, we just had a bit of a power surge here, and I lost everything.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. We're talking about when you've been on TV, you get invites everywhere.
Yeah, and I was
Yeah.
running around the country, and when I was speaking to you about, oh, I'm here, I'm there, I'm doing this. So something had to give, so I had to cut back on people's invites.
Yeah.
But yeah, TV's
I remember.
great.
I remember the first time I met you. I would say we met in that pub before we went to Drakelow,
Yeah.
and after that day, every time I saw you or introduced you, I said, "This is Carl. He's been on Ghost Adventures," and that really used to piss you off.
Yeah, because Ghost Adventures is a very small part of anything I've
I
done.
know. I understand that, and it's
Yeah.
making you, less important and the show more important. I understand that.
To be truthfully honest, it was just every public event that I went with you when I was working with you. When you did the opening spiel, you would say that, and I was just like, "Oh, Nick, I'm gonna slap you something chronic."
Yeah, it's memories though, isn't it?
It is memories, good memories as well.
So obviously, let's talk about that. You used to be our tech man, tech guy, tech guru on UK Haunted Live when we worked with Really TV for 2 years, and we did their live 3-hour shows a few times a year. That was what were you doing on that, Carl? What was your role?
Well, you guys invited me because I come along to some public events that you did, and then this whole Really TV came off, and Alex said, "Would you mind coming along and running the cameras and setting?" Because obviously I know about setting camera angles and all this sort of stuff, and doing the whole tech side of it, bringing some equipment up and giving you guys some tools to work with on the show.
Yeah.
I was honoured to do that, and it was a great experience. And from the first one we did at the Falstaff, which talk about nail biting, 12 seconds before we went live, we didn't have cameras.
Right.
Not a single camera was live, and then I got one working. Literally 12 seconds. I think I threw the camera at the guy that was, I think it was Alex or whatever. And it's sort of the analogy. You see a swan, but you don't know that it's going 10 to the dozen underneath the water. That's basically what it was like with the lives, the first one we did. Because things were going on in the background. It was incredible, but we learnt from the first one. It was a great time, and we hit great viewing figures.
Yeah.
And yeah, we just progressed. We got better cameras. We got better CCTV cameras. We had like the 360 experiments and all these experiments that we were doing. And I'd set up the static cameras that you guys at home would be watching. And then all of a sudden, I then started to get into the bit where I was also then reading out and monitoring the social media. So I was telling the guys when we got Nick there and the host there, and that's how I became friends with Nick and
Yeah.
doing the whole social media side of it. And then it just from that one we went on to the next one, and that was even bigger. And then the next one was even bigger. And then the best and most memorable one was our production that we did at the Ancient Ram. That was like a full on. I'd done TV shows on network that had less people and setup than what we put into that at the Ancient Ram, and that was just the group of us that were doing it. We didn't have people like they have on TV running cables. We set up everything. We set up the studio. We set up the tables. We set up the CCTV cameras. We set up everything. We did run throughs. We had smoke machines. We literally had a teleprompter for Nick and everything like that. So from the first one where we kind of winged it to the ones that we did part from the first one, we smashed it. And I think 800 odd thousand views we had on one of them
at the Ram. Yeah. We peaked. That's never been beaten.
No.
It's still the most viewed or the best viewing figures for any part of really TV, whether it's TV, social media, whatever. It's still the highest viewed.
We beat Ghost Adventures that weekend, didn't we? Their Halloween episode, we beat their viewing figures.
We also beat Most Haunted live at East Drive when
correct
that went.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
You know, it's something to be proud of. We all did that ourselves. It was 12 hours of setup ourselves. You know, getting there from lunchtime or before lunchtime, early in the morning.
Yeah, that
just
3 hours of investigation goes so quick, and you just live on adrenaline. And that's part of it. I've never really done live TV, and the adrenaline and stuff like that was just amazing. It was such a buzz.
I do miss doing that. To be fair, I love the live stuff. It's like, yes, let's go, counting down.
Yeah.
It was like you say, it was such a buzz to be involved in that and to be on screen, obviously, and to investigate. And yeah, it is something that I look back on, and it is one of my proudest achievements, I would say.
Yes.
Probably more than being on TV, I think, because it was all self-taught, like we put it all together ourselves. There was no help from obviously the guys from Really TV were there, but they were on the show. They were not like the runners or the cameras or anything like that. So no.
They arrived like a couple of hours before we went live every time.
Yeah.
And they would then do their bit on social media on that side of it. But some of the evidence that we caught, like the which was the one which we Really TV lost the footage for. Abington
Abbey, Abington Park Museum,
yeah, with the experiment that we did with the holding on the copper pipes,
the human spirit box,
human spirit box, amazing. And some of the stuff that Eamon brought to with his machine, some of the noises and some of the things that we experienced was just amazing.
Yeah, good old days, man.
Yeah.
So we've had a question from Diane. Is there anywhere Carl would really like to investigate but hasn't had the opportunity yet?
I think. Are we talking worldwide, or do you want a UK answer and do you want a overseas answer?
Go UK.
UK, I would love to investigate the Queen Mother's castle, Glam's castle in Scotland.
Anywhere, there you go.
I'd love to investigate that. I know most people would say the Tower of London or whatever like that, but I've kind of done sneaky stuff at the Tower of London. Yeah, I nearly got thrown out trying to do an EVP session at Traitors Gate. But yeah,
Wow.
Glamis Castle in Scotland, I'd love to do.
Okay.
And I'd like to also do a couple of other places, but that would be my number one. And the
We'll
one
we'll
in
we'll,
a.
we'll leave the others for the end. If
Okay, yeah,
yeah.
go for it.
So Ali says that you used to be able to investigate Glamis Castle because
Yeah,
Ali's from up that way. So
yeah. I know they used to, but then they stopped it, and I never had the opportunity. I was supposed to be going on an investigation, and I'm just gutted because of the history of that place, and
yeah,
even going back to obviously take the royals out of it. It was like the Stuarts and the war of all the clans and stuff like that, and yeah.
to make friends with a Yemen.
Yeah, but yeah, I had the chance to investigate Culloden. That was very good.
Yeah. So Carl, are you scared of the dark?
No.
That's right. Then. That was an easy question.
Um,
What have you ever been? Have you ever been?
yeah, I have. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I
Okay. Cheers,
said,
Diane.
when I first started this all those years ago,
Yeah.
literally I climbed up people's backs. I was literally, as soon as the lights went off, as soon as it got dark, like even if it was a squeaky floorboard or the house cooling down, I was petrified
I was like
initially.
that. Yeah.
But it's a buzz. You're getting that adrenaline rush. You're getting the endorphins flowing, and that fired me on to keep on doing it. But once I can, like, I spent 8 full days in Drakelow tunnels,
Wow.
walking around that place in the dark, no torch,
Fuck off.
because you get so
Actually,
used to it.
yeah. I suppose I was gonna say,
You're in there
how'd you not get
from
lost?
9 o'clock in the morning till 4 o'clock in the morning.
It all looks the same. No
Yeah,
matter what time it is.
yeah. You just gotta just remember your path, and
Yeah. You remember the rooms, don't you?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a couple of little dodgy bits where I ended up thinking, where am I?
Cheeky
But,
torch in your pocket, just
yeah,
in case.
I always made sure I had a torch, but I didn't. I hardly ever used it.
Or 17 of them, in case one goes out. So, Mark, I am not scared of the dark. I used to be at the beginning of my career, as you call it. Back at Clophill Church, the Satan Church, Demon Church, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, go do a lone vigil in the church. No, I'm scared. And then I realised, fucking hell, I can't do this if I'm going to be scared. I just need to, grow a pair and go and do it. So I did.
I must admit,
Never
there
looked
have been
back.
times where I've been put in situations, in places, in locations that I've been filmed at, where I'm sat there thinking, I do not want to be there. I am literally my whatever's going 10 to the dozen like that.
Mm.
And that's within the last 2 years. I've been like that.
Oh, wow.
I don't think it ever leaves you. You just know how to handle it.
Oh, so Gayla's said Vegas is 7 hours from her. She must be in America then.
Mm.
Ah,
Oh no,
so
it could be flying from Australia because that's about 7.
Tracy's in Australia. I'm not
Yeah.
sure. I
Oh,
think Gayla's in America. Maybe wrong. So Mark says no way I would walk around Draco and no torch. No, he did have a torch but didn't use it. So we'll let him off. So I've got a question from Tim. Carl, what is the most haunted and scariest place you've ever investigated?
There's two locations. One's quite personal to me, as you
Yeah.
were talking about this last week on the show you did last week, where a location has sort of got a hold on you, and you're like, it just keeps drawing you back and drawing you back and drawing you back. And that is Fort Halstead, because there's something about Fort Halstead I've dreamt of Fort Halstead, and I'd get a phone call from Paul the next day, and he said, "Oh, do you want to come down?" And this, that, and the other when I was living in the UK. And many a medium says I'm tied to Fort Halstead. There's ties to it. There's two soldiers, one French, one English. So there's that location, Fort Halstead, and to be truthfully honest, that's probably one of the scariest moments I had was at Fort Halstead. I didn't investigate for nearly a year afterwards. And the other location is in the UK. It's the Explosion Museum in the old Explosion Museum in Ghostoul.
I've never heard of that.
Basically it's where they used to produce ammunition for whether it was black powder, and then later on for the Falklands, it was where they produced and stored ammunitions to then go on the boats, and they went off to fight.
Oh, yeah. I think they might still do tours. Mark says.
Yeah, they do. It's a bit like Drakelow. They do. There's like the museum at Drakelow, but you can't investigate. Same with the Explosion Museum. They don't let you ghost hunt anymore because the buildings we were investigating, some of them were dangerous, and the other ones, one of the rooms had a nuclear warhead in it.
Oh wow. So yeah, Gayla's in America. That's 7 hours drive time for her.
Yeah, that's about 6.5 hours drive time to get to Virginia City. When I went up to Virginia City, when I investigated the Washoe.
I thought that was quite close. America, you don't realise how big America is.
Mm.
It's like the next town, the next state, but it's like a 7 hour drive.
It's like when you drive out of Vegas and you're going up towards Tonopah or even Area 51 area, like out towards Rachel. You'll get a sign saying your next fuel stop is 145 miles. And literally it's just a straight road, desert, mountains. And then all these little towns will do it, and so you literally have to plan your route for petrol and stuff, or gas.
Wow. So, obviously, living in Vegas now, I take it you've been to Zach's Haunted Museum.
One or two times. I think I've been to Zach's museum about 9 or 10 times in total.
Oh, wow.
While I've been living in Vegas, because the Vegas residents get a discount, it's a little bit cheaper. I've been a couple of times. I wanted to go and see what had changed from, because it had been a few years since I'd been there before I moved out there. And I wanted to go and see it and just see what they were doing with it.
Wow. I had a text message from Mark earlier, Mark Williams on here. He said when he goes to Vegas next year, will you go to the museum with him?
Yeah. Apart from one room I won't go into.
Which one's that?
The Demon House and the Titanic room. I was warned by Chris Fleming. Chris Fleming knew I was going to the museum, and he phoned me up and just warned me not to go into those two rooms. Don't know why. He wouldn't tell me. So I've been many a time afterwards. But yeah. Well, first time I went to the museum, they nearly almost called the paramedics on me. Thought I was having a heart attack.
What was it? Too much coffee?
No, I just felt really, really strange. I put at that time, because it was literally been open a matter of months, the Dr. Kevorkian death van, the VW bug van.
Oh yeah,
you could physically
Dr. Kevorkian.
You could physically touch it and put your hands on it. So we'd been in there, and I put my hands on it, and I was just like, let's see what I can feel. So you put your hands on it, and we left that room, and we walked into the Ed Gean's room where they've got the cauldron, with where we used to cook up humans. My legs just went, and I felt sick. I nearly threw up. And it's a weird thing about the museum. As soon as they activate medical emergency, people come out of the walls. I'm not kidding you. These two security guards came out of the walls because they got me. Because at that particular moment in time, you couldn't go down to the cellar. They hadn't opened the cellar. That was sort of Zach's little playground for himself at the time. So they got me out of Ed Gein's room and just lent me on this banister, looking down into the cellar, and then left me and went off to go and get me some water. And then this guy walks past and heads down, and it was Bacon, Zach's PA. And then Zach and two others walked past, and he looked at me, smiled, and waved, which he does all the time. He doesn't recognise you, but then when you actually speak to him, he then remembers that you've been on the show.
Yeah. Wow.
But yeah, they thought I was having a heart attack. They were calling paramedics and this, that, and the other, and I was just having a severe panic attack, or something had got into me. Something had really gassed my juices out, and I had because one of the girls in the shop is a shaman witch doctor, so she did all this thing, chanting and blowing smoke on me with feathers, and I started to feel better. And yeah.
Oh wow!
But that was literally at that time. That was. And there was like God knows how many rooms. That was 15 minutes into the tour, and I paid like $90 for it.
Did you get to go?
They wouldn't let me back in on the tour, so I had to wait outside for everybody.
Can you go back again and say, look, I didn't fulfil my...
They gave me a discount because I used to know Angry Joe on the door pretty well. God bless his soul. So I always managed to... he used to sort us out. He said, hang back, and he'd always, instead of having a group of like you could get put in with other groups, he used to hang it back until there was nobody behind, and then we'd get in and have our own bait. Like whoever we were with, we'd always have our own little group, small group.
Nice. Mark said, have you still got to sign the waivers before you go in?
Yep.
Yeah.
And that is the most, when you read that, if you read that waiver from head to toe, some of the stuff in there, they're not liable if you die. They're not. There's some crazy. They're not liable if you have a demonic attack or an attachment. It's all in this waiver.
Oh, that's brilliant.
But it's the American culture, isn't it? Sue culture.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, we're going to sue you.
Tracy's got a question. Have you heard of any places here in Australia that you would like to investigate?
There's one place. I can't remember it. It was on a show. And it was the first. I can't remember the name of the show, but it was on the first time it was on a show, and it was a prison, and you had to walk up this like step ladder, and it was like an old style prison, and that looked amazing. And the guys, it was one of the shows, and it was something I hadn't seen, where they used to have the hats they put on where the camera came up there, and it showed the reaction of their face.
Okay. Oh wow.
And it was on I think it was on one of the obscure. I can't remember the name of the prison.
Tracy watches all the shows. She'd probably tell you.
Yeah, it was a UK show when they filmed in Australia.
Was that with Ray Jordan and Ian Lawman and all them?
No.
And an Indian bloke?
No.
Because I can't remember what that was called. That was filmed in Australia.
Yeah, it was. It could have been the Indian bloke, the one that sadly died as well.
Yes, that bloke. Yeah, I can't remember his name.
But yeah, it looked amazing, and they had a couple of theatres on there as well that looked interesting. A good theatre, like a good prison.
Lock him up. So earlier on, you mentioned about the UK being different to the paranormal. Sorry, UK being different to America, paranormal-wise. Would you just have a little discussion about that? In what sense did you mean?
I'll be completely honest, and being back in the UK has proved that I was right.
Yeah.
Sadly, and I say this really, really sincerely, sadly, the UK paranormal scene, particularly on social media, is very, very toxic. Is them and us. Yes, the ones that stay out of the trouble, try to stay out of the drama, and just get on with it. They do great stuff, but too many times when I was living in the UK, there was drama after drama after drama, and you always get dragged. Somebody try to drag you in it because you've been on TV, and nobody's willing to work. I'm talking this not. I'm talking this in general. I'm not talking about certain teams or anything like that. This is a very,
Yeah.
very general statement.
Yeah.
There was teams out there that I'm not working with you because you've done this. I'm not working with you because you won't do this. You know what it was like, Mickey. It was kids' playground stuff. I'm 53 years old. I left school a very long time, and you just kept on getting dragged in on it, and it's just, oh, come on, grow up. You're all supposed to be adults. We're all in this for the same reasons.
Yeah.
Why do you have to be acting like a complete and utter Richard head? It was just, and it then got into like, oh, your convention, and oh, we're not coming to your convention because you do this. We're not going to your convention because you do that. And dirty tactics where people would from another convention would phone up the convention that I was working on and try and cancel it 2 weeks before the event.
Wow.
And it was just like, come on, guys. And you look at conventions in the UK.
Yeah.
Not that many. Great conventions. There's some absolute cracking conventions out there and great meetups and stuff like that. And I've noticed it's slightly changed in the time I've been out of the country. But you look at America, every single weekend from potentially Thursday to Sunday, there's multiple conventions in the US. You're talking literally some particularly when you get into crazy season, you could have like 4 or 5 conventions all happen in the same weekend. And there's plenty of people out there with tickets and money to go on these conventions and do it. And the convention scene is completely different to the UK. The paranormal scene, yes, there's a small pocket of what it's like in the UK, but there's more people working together in the States, and it's quite strange. You ask an American where you want to investigate, they're going to say the UK. You ask a British person, they'll probably say the US for some of the locations.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a big difference, and it's also the way they treat the paranormal. But I will say some of the best questions I've ever seen or been asked is from a UK audience. When I've spoken at conventions and I've been to conventions and seen that, they go into depth, they go into detail. I wish that was a bit more in the States. They don't go into the detail, but they want to know the history of locations. They want to know how it was filmed and stuff like that. But in the UK, it was more in-depth questions. So that's another difference. But
then you've also got, you've also got, I think Americans are more positive, I would say, whereas they always want to big you up and build you up and support you, whereas unfortunately I am English, British people, they're like the newspapers. They build you up and they love it when you fail, and they love to see you suffer, because they'd rather read a horrible story in a newspaper than a happy story. And that is why the press always print the bad stuff, and they always get the good stories like that.
I'm not, as the people call, a celebrity. I'm not whatever. And I'm not an expert. There's no such thing in the paranormal. There's no experts in this field. You've got to
No.
be constantly learning. But I'm a nobody. I've appeared on TV, but people even took pot shots at me for the stuff that I did.
Yeah.
God knows what it's like for the people like Zach or Jason Hawes and the guys that are like the main stars, and Project Fear and all those guys, Dustin Perry and all these sort of people, because they've got twice as many followers on social media.
Yeah.
Not twice as many, because I'm not bigging me up myself that, but
I know what
a
you
lot
mean,
more,
yeah.
a lot more followers. So they must get it in quite intent, because when I did the last show I did, we had to have some social media training, because it was a network. It was a new thing that networks had brought in for care of people that they put on the show. So
Yeah.
that's good. That's another challenge.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, Tim ended up coming off YouTube, stopped posting videos, nothing particular to me, but didn't like what I was seeing. Just do beer brewing vids now. Nice.
Yeah. And that's another thing that's different in the States to the UK. YouTube is its own element. Paranormal TV is its own element. Over in the UK, it sort of gets blended into one.
Yeah.
It's like people say everybody that does YouTube is a fake, because there's people out there faking it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
So
We
it's
get it all the time.
paranormal TV. But in the States, they look past that whole thing, and they treat people differently. Yeah, there's all these debunkers, and good on them for doing the stuff they do, and what they do. I don't agree with some of their measures or the way they do it, but I think in the long run, the debunker channels are needed to pull certain elements into play, certain elements into check,
Yeah.
and whatever like that. But yeah, that YouTube and paranormal TV and conventions don't really have a crossover. Yeah, you occasionally will get a small crossover, but normally when they've appeared on a mainstream show as a guest speaker and stuff like that, where in the UK it's all lumped into one melting pot.
Yeah. It's not going to end well, is it?
No.
So Diane says she's got Fremantle, Old Melbourne Jail, and Pentridge have come up as haunted prisons in
Old
Australia.
Melbourne Jail.
Oh, is that what it was? Yeah. That's so. There you go, Tracy. Thank you, Diane. Carl would like to come and investigate there.
Yeah, if you want to invite me out there, I'm happy, because it's a lot shorter distance to fly from LA to Australia than it is from UK to Australia.
Yeah, 24 hours or something, isn't it?
Yeah, it's still a long flight, but it's not
Yeah.
as long as from the UK.
Yeah, so Ali's saying, take YouTube away, how many would actually still investigate and have a serious interest in the paranormal? Him and his wife said he would.
But we've had conversations, Mickey, and it's about YouTube, and I think YouTube could be a great thing, because it gets people who aren't given the chances. Because I've been lucky. I'm not what you would describe the cookie cut figure of what appears on paranormal TV. I'm not got a six pack. I've got more of a keg. I'm not blonde, blue eyes, whatever, long legs or black hair, and I was given an opportunity because I had backing from some very big people behind me, because I became friends with them over time. So I got past that, but people still take that. But yeah, YouTube I think could be potentially be great, but it also, if it keeps going the way it is, it's going to turn into a cesspit like Facebook does sometimes.
Yeah. So
Sadly.
obviously, yeah. So obviously, you living in Vegas. Ghost Adventures crew are from Vegas. Any meetings? Any let's have a drink, Carl? We know you're there now. Anything like that ever happened?
I have had a couple of drinks with a couple of the guys that live in Vegas. Not Zach, Aaron, Billy, or those sort of guys. But I'm very good friends with their equipment guys, because as equipment guys are usually left in a van while everybody else takes the screen time. And then we've got to pick, while you're tootling off to your nice hotel room, we're collecting all the equipment that you've just strewn around the location. I'm just joking. But yeah, I know their equipment guy, Jeff Conkle, very well. And
That's the new Jeff, isn't it? The big geezer
big
Jeff.
He looks like an older version of Aaron.
Yeah.
Put them side by side, but Aaron's like mine. He's going grey now as it is, because we're all getting older.
We're all getting old,
If
mate.
you put them side by side, they look the same. But I have met up with Jeff a few times, mainly at the Palms Casino, just off the strip, where it's a little bit quieter than the strip casinos. And I have had conversations with other members of Ghost Adventures, yes.
Say no more.
And that's all you're getting.
Shh! Don't say nothing. It's all good. So, seeing you're talking about tech, I've never done this before. I've had a delivery today of some, I'd say, fairly exclusive equipment.
Nice.
As far as I know, there's only one other person that has one of these. Now, I've opened the box, but I've not taken it out. I've not seen it. I don't know what it looks like. So, we've had a delivery. I hope you don't mind, Carl.
No, absolutely not. No.
Being tech man and all that. So
I wish my screen that I could see it was a bit better.
You can watch it on catch up on telly.
I'll watch it on catch up, but I want to ask questions now. That's not going to help, is it?
No, it's not. So this is from Infraready, and
Is that the new Alice box?
I hope it is, Carl. This is Alice Box version 2 that I've been given to field test. Oh, I've even got my name on it. There we go. Mickey.
There you go.
So obviously the first, there we go, a bit more simpler and a lot smaller.
That looks sleek. That's handheld.
Yeah, it's an awful lot lighter and smaller than the first one. So I've had some amazing things with the first one. That's the best bit of kit I've ever used. Hands down. So many. It's like me and you talking now. Absolutely amazing response is that it cannot. I don't know how it does it. Oh, we've turned it on.
Careful.
Oh, it's even got my name on. Look at that. Oh, wow.
So they've programmed it so it says "Welcome, Mickey." Does that say?
Yeah. Fuck me. Sorry for my language. That's fucking brilliant.
That's cool. That's cool.
That is
That
cool.
is an exclusive device.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
You can't change that.
I don't know what you do with it. To be fair.
I've only seen pictures of it.
I presume it's just scanning. I don't know. But yeah, so I just thought I'd open that while.
What colour is that?
That's like a
purpley colour, like rose gold.
Yeah, rose gold. Yeah.
It's like the iPhone colour.
Nod. Yes. Yeah, similar. Yeah. I mean, I've got a crap light here, but it's Oh, that doesn't help that way, does it? That's too bright. So yes, that's sort of.
Yes, it's similar to the iPhone colour that they used to do.
Yeah. And what I like, I've got number 4 of the original Alice box, and it is so loud. He brought other versions out that you can turn the volume down, etc. And when you're in like locations, you shouldn't really be, investigating, like at Greyfriars Cemetery, and you get shouted at by the boss there. It's a bit difficult. But
Yeah.
you can change the volume on this by the looks of it.
So you
And
can you wear? Has it got like? Can you put it with headphones as well? The headphones, yeah.
not that I can see, no. And it is, before you used to put AA batteries in, but this has got a USB-C
Okay.
um, charging point, so that's probably why it's so small. But yeah, and it's got a login thing, so you can go back to see what words come up.
Yeah. What word did that just say?
Master.
Talking about
So
me.
Master Carl, yeah. So this is so good because I'm off to Wales next week filming
Cool.
for Halloween. So
Right.
yeah, this is cool. So yeah,
These are the locations when we met up the other week. You were telling me about.
a few castles,
Yeah.
etc., cemeteries, and that. Yeah,
Nice.
asylum maybe. I don't know how you turn this off, but there you go. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
guys, any questions? Contact me now. Any questions for Carl? Please
Yeah.
put them
I'll
in
literally
comments
answer
now.
anything. Whether you want about locations in near Vegas or equipment or anything, I'll answer anything. Area
Yeah.
51. Love a bit of Area 51. That's good because that's right on my doorstep. And some Thursday nights when there was nothing going on, I'd drive up to the front gate of Area 51 and just chill out.
Do you get attacked by the camo guys? I used to watch all them
You see
YouTube
them.
videos.
Yeah, you see them.
Yeah.
As long as you don't go over the lines or try and drive down tracks with cars that you know that are not going to get there. All they're doing, they just keep an eye on you. Yeah, they follow you and all this, that, and the other, but they don't.
Yeah, because
Most of them live in a town called Alamo, just outside of Area 51 area, and it's the second nearest town because Rachel's the nearest town to Area 51,
Yeah.
but Alamo's is other one, and it's quite weird. You can drive through Alamo where the public library is, and there's a car park, and all the white Ford Bronco and Raptors that they drive all parked there, so you know they live, and the school bus, so you know they live in Alamo.
Yeah, it sort of gives it away, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So, is there any story within the paranormal that you think, nah, don't be silly, that ain't true, I don't believe, I'm not buying that story? Any famous case, any famous location?
Not a famous case, but it's something that I have noticed that, and that's the word, the grey lady.
Everywhere.
Because everywhere. It's a bit like what you were discussing on last week's show, that Oliver Cromwell or Judge Jeffreys has been all over this country. Everywhere has a grey lady.
And lived for 700 years, Cromwell.
Exactly. Yeah. Right. I'll tell you what, they should start a band with Dick Turpin, Oliver Cromwell, Dick Turpin, Judge Jeffreys, and go on a road trip because they seem to have gone into every location that you ever saw. But the grey, that kind of like, you just think, really, everywhere you go to, there's a grey lady. There's a grey lady. But one location I would say that definitely doesn't live up to the hype of a location which has been on TV shows. And I'm sorry because I was there last weekend. It's 30 East Drive.
Yeah.
I've never had an active night there.
No way.
Never had an active night. Unless I was tied to a rope and pulled up the stairs or had a knife in my pocket. I've never. I was there last weekend. We had some interesting things, but none of that. You know what it's like, those wow moments. I've never had that, and first time at 30 East Drive in about 9 years was last weekend. We were doing a different type of experiment, which I can't tell you about, but we had time to investigate. and it was just quiet. There was more activity on the road from kids driving a four bike, one of those quad bikes up and down the road without a helmet and going over the roundabout than there
Yeah.
was in the house. It had a very peaceful thing. But yeah, I would say that would be one famous location, which I don't know why it's booked out
Do you know?
365 days of the year.
I think most wanted helped with that, even though everything was proved to be fake allegedly. I can't say it's fake because I get shouted at.
I
But
can't. Yeah, you can't. No, you can't say fake.
no,
Exaggerated.
I think if it wasn't so hyped, it'd be a great place to investigate.
Yeah.
Because you don't expect every location to be active all the time. You go there, you hope little bits happen,
Yeah.
and the little bits you get at East Drive would make you happy in another location.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the fact it's East Drive.
Yeah. And they've made a film out of it. It's been on Nick Groff's Investigated. I had a dream about a black monk in this town called Pontefract.
When he was in the Hinsdale house, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So Diane actually had a good experience there. When I believe she heard lots of footsteps upstairs and they were really loud, and there was only a small group of people in the house. I think in Philip's room upstairs, and that was captured on their audio, and they couldn't find a reason for it.
Yeah,
but
we had would happen when we were all leaving the location, and I was coming from the living room through the kitchen and going out the back door, and there's two of us in there, and we heard somebody walk across the landing, but we had to be out of the location. But I would have wanted to investigate to see whether that was just funny auditory thing, and it was sort of an echo from next door or whatever, stuff like that. But it's just every time I've gone there, and nothing's ever happened. It's like when people, I want to see coins, like people saying that they've experienced coins just appearing out of nowhere, and stuff like that, and shadows, and because I've always wanted to see the famous shadows that they talk about, either at the top of the stairs or down the bottom. Yeah. But one thing I did notice, the way they have their mirrors set up is like a prison, because they're all pointed at each other. So any any type of light will bounce around and cause refraction and funny light anomalies. I did notice that they position, you can literally, from the living room, look into the kitchen and see all the way up the stairs from the mirrors that they positioned.
Yeah, they're not silly.
No.
You see, the thing is, I nearly caught Carol throwing a 2p piece in the kitchen. Literally this much off camera she was, and I'd have had her on film throwing that, and I'm happy to say she tried to fake that.
Yeah.
So close as well.
And for what they charge, and that's another thing that I don't like about the UK, is how much they charge to film or to even go and investigate, because such and such YouTube's done an investigation here, so we're going to up the price by a certain amount. Such and such from TV's filmed here, so the prices go up and up and up, and it sort of outmarkets the genuine guys who just want to get out and experience these locations that potentially they could never get into, and they've seen on TV.
Yeah, well, I'll give you an example. When I was filming with Daz's Ghost Hunts, we contacted Caroline, at the Ram, and said, we want to book it to film there, etc. It was just during the week, and she said, this is our price. It's like £300, something like that.
Yeah.
And she goes, who's going to be there? And when we told her Daz Black was going, she said, that's £1,000.
Just because it's YouTube.
Because he's got the money, he can pay for it.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. I do not agree with that. But that's something that, yes, locations can cost a hell of a lot of money in the States for some of these like incredible locations. But $92 to that I paid to investigate first time at the Clown Motel,
Yeah,
and that was not a small amount, and they gave us time to film in the reception with Charlie the Clown, and that was filmed all over the place. But now Clown Motel, that's where I spent Halloween. I spent 3 days in the Clown Motel for over Halloween in the Clown Motel. Not obviously not in the haunted rooms. In one of the, I always go for one of the bottom levels off away from the block where the activity is, because I want to be able to sleep at some point.
yeah. You see, that's the thing. When I was booked to go America in 2021, just when they opened the airplanes to go back over there, open the airports and that, I'd booked the Conjuring House at the time. I think it was like 80 something dollars for just for myself for 15
Mm.
hours there.
Yeah, yeah,
$80. It's ridiculous. I mean, obviously Jacqueline got in and she put the price up, and if you look left, you have to pay $1,000 and all
yeah,
that shit that she come out with. But in the UK, it'd never be $80. I mean, that's what's that like? 50 quid
yeah,
per
yeah.
person. That's
It's like 50 quid. Yeah.
yeah. That they're not charging that little amount in the UK. It's
But the thing is, with these sort of famous locations, like the Mizpah Hotel, every Friday night they have a free ghost hunt. You can just turn up, stand in the bar, and if there's enough people, they'll take you on a ghost hunt. Or if you say at reception you want to, is it okay if we film for a video, or we want to investigate this, that, and the other? You just book a room, and they'll give you one of the haunted rooms. So they're getting money, so you can do whatever you like in the hotel. And all the public areas, you just got to be quiet.
I think they've got it right. The
Yeah.
UK just, unfortunately, they just see the pound sign. They don't care about your experience, who's going to be there. They just have, oh, we can get money out of these people.
Hmm.
And
They see
unfortunately,
they see the dollar signs. Yes, there are locations that cost a lot of money, but there's a lot of like decent locations that cost hardly anything in the States. Especially if you get a few people or do a joint thing with another team.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, there's some incredible places to investigate, or just ghost towns, which will be right up your street, Mickey. These are abandoned mining towns in the desert
ooh,
that you can go, and literally the houses are there, and you just got to be careful what time of year you go because of rattlesnakes. But and how hot it is, that's another thing.
yeah,
But yeah, these little ghost towns, just literally, they've got ruins of like, they'll have like a wall and the foundations, and what other one will have like a front of it but no back or roof, and little streets, and you can just picture what it used to be.
mm,
But there's like other places like there's caves and stuff like that, which going down the Native American route and stuff like that. So it
wow.
doesn't have to cost you anything to investigate.
No. So Ali said, how much is the Clown Motel to hire again?
Okay, Clown Motel. They have, similar to the Mizpah, they have a organised ghost hunt on a Friday and Saturday. And if you get enough people, you can do it during the week. You just got to give them a ring. If you want to film in the reception with Charlie the Clown, where all the clowns are, they do charge a little bit, but it's like you pay. I think you basically pay for the caretaker's time. He'll
Mm.
be sitting outside to let you in and out of that area, so it's
Oh, I
not
see.
an awful lot. But we paid. I think if you were just off the street and you walked in and said, "Can you give me the most haunted room?" I think you're paying about $130 for a night. So that's check in at 3, check out at 12. And what you do in that room is completely up to you.
Wow.
But
That's
obviously, you couldn't do an event like that because obviously, if it's an event, they charge you extra because
no.
obviously liability, have insurance, and all that sort of stuff needs to be taken into factor, like you do in the UK.
Yeah. So we'll be wrapping up very soon. Just quickly, Carl, what's your favourite bit of equipment you've ever used, and why? Put him on the spot now.
I like the first edition of the Melmeter that came out with just REM on it.
Yeah.
That was great because I think now they've kind of tried to push too much stuff into a REM. So it's got ADT, it's got REM, it's got a spirit box, it's got a
Shadow
penknife,
detector.
it can pick your nose, wireless pick your nose, and all that sort of stuff. I think they just try to ram too much in, and it's good to see that they're starting to go back to sort of the basic idea of equipment. So
Yeah, Gary.
I wouldn't go on an investigation without my Mel meter.
I've got one
Um,
like that with just the REM on it.
yeah,
Yeah.
good bit of kit, good bit of kit.
Yeah.
But I was, you know what it was like, Mickey, when I opened one case of Mel meters. I had to have every single model. And then they brought out the black version, so I then had to have every single model in the black version.
Yeah, because it started off white, didn't it? Like a
Yeah, well,
K2.
the originals were the white with the blue,
Yeah.
which are very rare, and I'm glad I've still got my original Mel because they're worth a lot of money. But yeah, if I brought like I've always said to Mickey, if somebody said bring all your equipment to an investigation, I'd need a transit.
Yeah. So Ali says, "Do you remember the Ghost Arc?"
Got one of those?
I've used one on TV.
Yeah.
Somebody I was working with had one. It's quite good, but if you get one that actually the buttons worked and actually stayed on,
If you get one of the first generations before Massimo, whatever the guy's inventor's name was, I think it was Massimo, decided to raise money by selling devices that he wasn't going to fulfill, and then got sued and had to perform them. And that's when the quality, that's when the quality, when the buttons didn't work and stuff like that. But I've got a version one of the Arc. Buttons are still in place, don't come
wow.
off, and it's a good bit of kit.
Yeah, I quite like the.
A little bit big now, but it's a good bit of kit.
Yeah, it's about that big, isn't it?
Yeah,
Big square,
yeah,
big phone thing.
yeah.
So Anne just got a comment. Hi fellas, I don't like the thought of being a spirit and being ghost hunted. If I was a ghost spirit, I'd be quiet as hell. Just saying. It does sound worse than it actually
It
is.
is, but that's the common name that you have,
Yeah,
both in the UK and America for public events. It's a ghost hunt.
yeah,
When we meet, say, if I went out with Nicky, it wouldn't be a ghost hunt; it would be an investigation. Different, all research, different terms, but for a generic public event, it's a ghost hunt, and yeah, it's not a nice term, but
no. So
one we're stuck with.
we've come to my final two questions. So the first question is following on from what Diane asked you. So your bucket list location, Carl, anywhere in the world. We're going tomorrow morning. We're going to be there as long as you want. Where are we going?
I'd love to investigate the White House.
Oh, never had that answer.
I'd love to investigate the White House. I know it's never going to happen, but it's a location because it's not just because it's where the president is. It's the history behind the building itself and what was on the land before that, and when us Brits burnt it down, tried to burn it down. There's one panel of the White House that isn't white; it's still blackened from when the Brits tried to burn it down. But yeah, obviously now you'd never be able to. You might have been able to get it on when people weren't trying to assassinate presidents and all that sort of malarkey.
Yeah.
And nowadays, sadly, but I'd love to investigate the the White House. I bet
Well,
you thought I was going to say Alcatraz.
everyone says Alcatraz when I ask them that question.
I've investigated it.
Oh, fuck off. Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, we were given access. A friend of ours who lives in San Francisco knows the people that run the park rangers that run it.
Yeah.
It's a state, technically it's a state park, which because it has the park rangers, and we booked on the last tour, and then we had a couple of hours to investigate, and then we left with all the park rangers back to the mainland on the last boat out.
Wow. So is it good?
Very, very good.
Has it got that atmosphere, that eeriness?
Yeah, especially the main cell block, which has the windows, not the cell block, which is cells, and then you've got a line. There's one cell block which has a wall, and that one, like I think it's 4 or 5 high. That one's a bit on the. Yeah, I didn't like some of the cells. I didn't like some of the cells.
Well, a lot of bad stuff happened in those, I
A
suppose.
lot of people got burnt because that used to be one of the ways that people would get back at other cellmates was they'd have lighter fluid and they'd squirt it in the cell as they closed the gate and then flicked a match so they couldn't get out and just burnt them alive.
Wow. That's not a nice way to go.
No, not a nice way to go.
So my final question, if you could get rid of one thing in the paranormal, whether it's equipment, attitude, location, something you just don't like, you hate it, it's gone forever, what are you getting rid of?
Can I have two?
Knock yourself out.
Travel,
Travel. Yeah.
because I love it, but it can be a ball ache. And I think the other one is egos in the paranormal.
Yeah.
I think, particularly in the UK, there's too many people that have got egos that they think they are better than everybody else when they're not. But yeah, I would say that. I would say travel because it'd be so great just to like some sort of teleport straight
Teleport,
in.
yeah.
You're at the Clown Motel from the UK, or I want to go up to Scotland. Bang, you're there, or Ireland, or whatever. The travel does the travel, and living out the suitcase can after a while grind on there because you're like, got to go and wash my clothes or this. I'd like to sleep in my own bed, but it's what you sign up for. It's part of the buzz. It can be fun, particularly if you're on a flight. It's like when you go to Michigan Paracon, which is you fly out of Detroit and you get up there on a particular day. There's one flight. If that flight ever went down, there wouldn't be any US paranormal TV because everybody's on that flight.
Wow. The whole shebang is on there.
Yeah. All headline speakers because they all tend to fly up on their own. I chose to drive because I ain't getting on a plane with propellers.
Oh, was it like that?
I'm not getting on a flying cattle truck.
Wow. I don't blame you.
I like when I'm on a plane. I like my creature comforts.
He wants a real plane.
Yeah, I like
not
my
wind
creature
up.
comforts. I don't want to be sat there and some bloke kickstarting it from the front or anything like that.
Moving the sheep out of the way
Yeah.
as they've come out of their cage.
Yeah.
So, Carl, where can people get in contact with you on social media?
Well, I've been off social media for a little bit due to some stuff going on. But you can find me on the usual suspects. You can find me under just on Facebook, Carl Hutchinson. There's my public profile, and there's my private profile. You can find me on X. I have a website. I'm rocking my own
Oh
merch.
yeah, your merch, yeah.
Yeah,
Trunk Meat Carl.
Trunk Meat Carl merch, which you can, if anybody's interested, I do T-shirts, I do baseball caps, I do hoodies, you name it, I do it. And if you want, you can contact me. But yeah, my Trunk Meat Carl is Trunk Meat Carl made from the prime cut of the finest hobos.
So what was the story with that? Just quickly.
Yeah, I was on a UK tour with a load of Americans, and we were going literally. It was this, and the person running it, it was just bang, 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 bang. We go here, we go there, and they didn't really have time to like get food and stuff. And I knew what it was back, so I in my car because I was following the minibus. I had two cool box, one with drinks, like waters, sodas.
Mm.
Jesus Christ, I'm sounding American. Sodas.
Soda.
Oh no, Mickey! If you see me and I ever say soda to you again, please slap me. Um, but yeah, and beers and stuff like that. And then in the other cool box, I had like antipasta, so I had like salamis, meats, pasta, cheese, pork pies, sausage rolls, all these type of things. And we stopped at this one location, the Rollright Stones, and two of them came back to the minibus and went, "Carl, have you got any food?" And I went, "Come with me." And literally, I opened my boot, pulled off the cool box legs, and there was and they literally sat on my boot, eating this, and more started to come back until there was that only the English guys going and touring around the Rollright Stones, and I had all the Americans, and they were eating. I was giving them like a pork pie. I was trying to explain to them what a pork pie was with Branston pickle inside and all this sort of stuff. And the woman, a good friend of mine, said, "Carl, you're like Trunk Meat Carl. You've got all the stuff in the thing," and that it became a running joke. And then when I decided to do merchandise, and you know that you've got that decision of what you're going to call your merchandise, I went with Trunk Meat Carl.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Quite literally what it says on the t-shirt.
yeah, Trunk Meat Carl. Yeah. Okay, the food isn't from hobos or the homeless, murdered homeless people, but it's sort of I literally came up with the tagline myself, and these all printed. If you're in America, I've got a printer in the States who will send it out, so you don't have to pay the shipping costs from the UK. And if you're in the UK, I have a printer in the UK, so you're not having to pay for everything being sent across from the States.
Nice one. Thank you so much for tonight, Carl.
No worries. Did you want to talk about Delapre Abbey before we go?
Can do.
Or do you want to leave
Quick.
that for another time?
Well, people keep saying they want part 2, so if you're good for, a few comments saying, well, we need part 2.
Yeah, no worries. Got more stories. Got some stories about Mickey on an investigation, which I can spill the beans on.
Carl, shut up. yeah, we will save that for part 2. Okay. We'll get the return of Carl another time. So again, thank you. It's been awesome tonight.
And thanks everybody that's been in the chat posing questions. Been a great experience. First time doing a podcast in nearly 18, 19 months, because I kind of was just chilling while I was in the States, but I was doing conventions and TV stuff. So it's good to come back on a friend show and have a good thing. Great questions, great interaction, and I thank you all.
Cheers, Carl. I will see you in a bit, mate. Thank you so much. Cheers. See you later. So there we go, guys. What an awesome guy Carl is. Like I say, he's got many stories to tell. He's still in the UK at the moment. He will be heading back to Vegas at some point. So yeah, those of you that have watched this on Catch Up, leave some comments. What was your best bit? Have you met Carl? Do you know of Carl? Have you seen him on TV? Let us know. And still getting some comments coming in. I'd be scared if I was spirit past over and all of a sudden bang, door opens and my old home is full of people ghost hunting. Yeah, that would be quite sad. So yes, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really enjoyed tonight. Again, it's been great to chat to Carl, and obviously you guys watching, sharing, liking, really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And yes, I will see you next week for another awesome show. See you later. Then you press the end stream button and it just makes you stare at the screen for no reason, like this. Yes, I'm ending it. What's it doing?